Welcome to Here's How We Get There. It's the daily show filled with conversations about business and mental health in a down-to-earth style with real-world language. Now let's dive in with your co-hosts, Kenneth Shark-Kinney and Trey Tucker.
All right, Trey, President Biden spoke at the 2024 commencement at Morehouse College, which is it's HBCU, men's liberal arts college in Atlanta, Georgia. Obviously, there's a political season to it, but he gave the commencement address, and a lot of the commencement speeches across the country have had protests, but this one in particular, there was some comments made before that said that, there would be people protesting about the war in Israel and how Israel was what they were doing on the Gaza Strip in the war against Hamas. And President Biden had said something about, or his team said something about, if it became too much, that they would end the commencement speech. However, it didn't appear that it was too much, and there wasn't, the same loudness like you see at a lot of other, like Jerry Seinfeld got a few weeks ago. However, there were a lot of students who, and I'm not sure what the number was. I don't think it was a huge number, but there were quite a few students that at least I saw on video of the ceremony that turned their chairs away from the president in protest to his speech because of the war in Gaza and everything else. So what are your thoughts on whether or not it is okay to turn your back to a president delivering a commencement speech to your college?
It's disrespectful and it's immature. No matter who the president is or which side of the aisle you want to be on, just respect the office of the president and have enough respect for, not even if you don't respect the person, at least have enough respect for the political system and the government that we live under to at least face and act like you're listening to somebody else that you might disagree with. It goes back to stuff that you and I talk about all the time. You have to be able to disagree with somebody and still function in some sort of back and forth communication relationship with them. Because if all we ever do is physically turn our backs on people, or at least symbolically turn our backs on people, we're never going to get anything solved. And the country will fracture from the inside out, which is what a lot of external forces would love to see happen. So unfortunately, people are using their freedoms in a way that really doesn't accomplish anything of what they're trying to get accomplished. If they really are trying to help Palestine, turning your back on somebody who's speaking doesn't accomplish anything to help your cause. And also, it just continues to erode the relational trust that we have in each other and the system that governs us.
Yeah, to what you said about that earlier, I would say, we need to be able to have a conversation. And to be honest, I almost wish they had been conversing a lot more loudly and just screaming something like free Palestine. There's something about the president. I've not been a fan of President Biden by any stretch of the imagination, but I do find it disrespectful, more disrespectful than screaming and making your voice heard. And I understand it was at least it was a peaceful protest, but it's more of a snub, putting your hand up. You just don't want to talk to or hear from anybody. It was just, to me, it seemed very disrespectful. And whether you agree with them or don't agree with them, yes, you need to be able to have a conversation. But again, it is the president of the United States. What I also think is a lot of these people are doing this for attention. They're not on, next Wednesday, they won't be doing anything to protest during the week what's going on in Israel. Yeah. This is a place where they can use their platform to get some attention at a commencement, and then next Wednesday or Thursday or whatever day of the week, they'll be back at their regular jobs and their regular lives. This was just a way to show a level of disrespect. So you can agree with somebody's politics or don't agree with them, but when they come to your event, this is also being respectful of the other students there. Not everybody agrees with your protest. This is something you worked your butt off for probably 4 years. You worked your butt off for 12 years to get into a good school like this. Your parents probably paid that, or you're going to have loans that you got to pay off in the future. enjoy that moment. That's one of the few times. I mean, I expect, like when somebody has a baby someday, that they're going to be in the hospital in the room because they think it's an opportunity not to get a picture of the baby, but to yell and protest about something, or I don't know, maybe during a baptism. There'll be some reason that people will just do this for attention in a not the best way. So it's okay for them to protest. I appreciate they did it in a peaceful way. I just wish it'd been more respectful of the office. And even Joe Biden or Trump or whoever else it is deserves that respect.
Thank you for joining Shark and Trey on the Here's How We Get There show. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show and visit here'showwegetthere.com. That's here'showwegetthere.com.